Welcome back, focused learners. Today, we are tearing down that intimidating wall of confusing financial jargon and getting straight to the core of how business actually speaks. We're going to demystify the entire accounting process, literally from start to finish. And we're going to do it using a fun, chronological case study. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the accounting tree, then move into the accounting equation, explore the general ledger, tackle cash versus accrual, build out our financial statements, and finally wrap the whole thing up with the accounting cycle.
All right, first up, Section 1, the accounting tree. You know, accounting has been around for ages, and over time it's grown into this massive tree with different branches, like tax and audit. But our absolute focus today? Financial accounting. Basically, this is the process of identifying, recording, summarizing, and analyzing an entity's financial transactions and then reporting them in financial statements. To ground this abstract idea in reality, let's imagine you own a business called Ruff. It's a wildly popular tabloid covering all the latest gossip on our furry friends. We're going to track Ruff through this exact accounting process.
Moving right along to Section 2, the accounting equation. So picture this. During March, Ruff runs a massive promotional offer for annual subscriptions that officially begin on April 1st. People absolutely can't get enough of your pet gossip stories, and you have a wildly successful month. You collect a staggering $40,000 in cash. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we handle it. The very first step in financial accounting is to identify the transaction, which in this case is that massive pile of cash. But how do we officially record it in the business's books? Well, to record it, we prepare what's called a journal entry. A proper journal entry includes a date, a description, and the specific accounts affected. For our 40 grand, those accounts are cash and subscription revenue. Because Ruff uses double entry accounting, which is the gold standard, every single transaction affects at least two accounts. And, absolutely crucial here, your total debits must exactly equal your total credits, no exceptions. Now, you might be wondering, why does it have to perfectly equal out? Well, it's all because of the accounting equation. This formula is the absolute bedrock of all double-entry accounting. It simply states that assets, meaning the valuable resources your business owns like cash, must equal liabilities, which are your obligations to third parties, plus equity, which is what the business owes to you, the owner. This equation must always balance. To keep that equation perfectly balanced, we use debits and credits. Let's clearly contrast the two. Credits represent the right side. They are the sources where economic benefit flows from. Debits, on the other hand, represent the left side, the destinations where that benefit flows to. Tying it back to our $40,000 transaction, you debit cash because cash is the destination, increasing your assets. You credit subscription revenue because that's the source of your income. Makes sense, right? Let's jump into Section 3, the general ledger. Once you write a journal entry, you don't just leave it there. The next step is posting that data into your general ledger. Think of the ledger as essentially a central database storing all your accounts. Broadly speaking, there are 6 building blocks or types of accounts in this ledger. You've got assets, liabilities, equity, revenue, expenses, and withdrawals, which you might also hear called dividends. What you really need to take away from this is how interconnected it all is. Your revenue and expenses will eventually feed right back into the equity part of that accounting equation. To keep track of all this, we visualize these accounts using what's known as a T account. You literally just draw a giant T, putting your debits on the left and your credits on the right. And this brilliantly illustrates how we handle our data. For your March journal entry, you'd post a debit to the left side of your cash account for $40,000, and you'd post a credit to the right side of subscription revenue for $40,000. It's just a beautifully simple visual tool. Up next is Section 4, cash versus accrual. Okay, let's fast forward to December 31st, the very end of your financial year. We put together an unadjusted trial balance just to make sure our total debits and credits match up. But here is the climax of our story. Why does our trial balance need adjusting? Well, it turns out Ruff hasn't exactly been following official accounting rulebooks like IFRS or GAAP. So to give the outside world a completely fair and accurate view of the business, we absolutely have to post adjusting entries. The specific rule we broke here involves cash versus accrual accounting. See, cash accounting recognizes revenue the exact moment cash is received, but the official rules demand accrual accounting, where you only recognize revenue as you actually earn it. Remember that $40,000 we collected way back in March? Since those annual subscriptions run all the way through March of the next year, as of December 31st, we still haven't actually earned 3 months of that revenue. Why? Because we haven't done the work of releasing those final January, February, and March issues yet. So we have to fix this, and we do it by posting an adjusting entry. We take 3 months' worth of that subscription revenue, which comes out to exactly $10,000, and we reverse it out of our revenue account with a debit. Then we credit it to a liability account called deferred revenue. Basically, we're temporarily holding this 10 grand as a liability because Rough Times still owes those customers newspapers for the first 3 months of the new year. With this clever fix, our books are now perfectly aligned with the accrual method. Crisis averted. That brings us to Section 5, Financial Statements.
With the books properly adjusted, it's finally safe to generate our external reports. We use our adjusted data to build the 3 main financial statements. First up is the balance sheet, which gives you a snapshot of your assets, liabilities, and equity at one single specific point in time. Second is the income statement, which summarizes your revenues and expenses to show your actual performance and profitability over a period of time. And third is the cash flow statement, showing pure cash inflows and outflows. Why does this matter? Because this is exactly how the outside world, investors, lenders, you name it, will judge the financial health of Rough Times.
Finally, we arrive at Section 6, the accounting cycle. So the crucial point is that even after those glowing financial statements are sent out to the world, your job isn't quite done. You have to prepare the books for next year by posting closing entries. A closing entry is designed to clear out all of your temporary accounts. You debit your revenue accounts and credit your expense accounts to bring their balances completely down to zero. That remaining balance, which is your profit, gets moved over into retained earnings in the equity section of your balance sheet. Just like that, your profits are locked in, and Rough Times is a clean slate, ready for a brand new year. Take a step back and look at the incredible chronological journey we just took Rough Times on. We started by identifying a transaction. Then we moved to recording it in a journal and ledger. After that, we were summarizing and adjusting it in a trial balance, reporting it in our financial statements, and finally closing the books. Together, this exact sequence of steps is formally known as the accounting cycle. It is literally the heartbeat of all financial accounting. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. We've untangled the web of debits, credits, and accruals together. Now that you know exactly how all these pieces fit together, I want to leave you with this question. What story do your financial statements tell? I highly encourage you to look at your own business, or even your investments, through this new structured lens. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and keep exploring.